Nice to see you. Nice to be here. It's great to be here. Nice to see you.
And
It's
we
nice to
are
see you. Great to be here.
we are from Edge One Media, digital marketing agency. For those of you who don't know us, we're a digital marketing agency located over in Tigard by Washington Square Mall. But we've been members of the Tualatin Chamber for several years now. And we are excited to just be here to provide a little bit of value to you today.
So actually, we thought since March next month is going to be our sort of 1 year anniversary of lockdown, we talk about some marketing trends that have happened in the last year and go over how people have changed their approach to marketing their business.
So, some of the things that we talked about on our podcast that we want to talk to you about today are how to plan out your content to be sure that you're reaching your audience during this time. So, over the course of the last year, we've seen that the businesses that have had steady growth or been able to sustain what they had already had in place did so by creating clear campaigns in their email marketing. If you aren't already utilizing your email marketing and email lists, that is a very valuable list for you to have to be able to reach out to and let them know a little bit about what you would like them to do for your business, how they could support your business during this time, or what your business could do for them or their family. So if you aren't already utilizing that list, we would highly recommend that you do so.
Yeah, so there have been some tactics that have emerged in the last year that have been real winners, and overwhelmingly, email has been one of them. And the common objection that we see to people sending out email is that people don't want to feel like they're bothering their customers or their clients. And really, email is an opportunity for you to strengthen your relationship, for you to reach out, for you to stay in front of people. And your clients and customers are much more tolerant of email than you think they are going to be. You know, we recently sent out an email campaign to 13,000 people for a client, and they had less than 0.5% unsubscribed, which means that, you know, overwhelmingly in aggregate, people will continue to listen to the emails that you send out.
And even if they do unsubscribe, we always tell our clients, don't look at that list. Don't worry about that list. You might see them at networking or other places. It's okay. Email is not the way that they want to hear from you. They might be following you on social media or some other avenue, and maybe they don't want to be a part of your email list, and that's all right.
Yeah.
Or maybe they're just not part of your target audience.
Yeah, you can judge them quietly in your mind. The second thing that has kind of emerged are new platforms and technologies. One of the things that came out this summer that has become fairly popular is an app called Clubhouse, which is an audio-only kind of networking room where you can go and talk to other people about different topics.
And we would highly recommend that the Tualatin Chamber have a Clubhouse room that people could be a part of. It's a great way to network with other people across the country. You can also network with people regionally through that app. And it is a voice app, so you're able to just have voice, no video, and you can host a room yourself about a topic that you are an expert in. I would highly recommend, if you haven't already received an invite for it, to reach out to your fellow chamber members who are on Clubhouse and see if you could get an invite. Play around with the app, hop into a few rooms, see if you can. You never know who you can impart some of your knowledge on. The other day, I was part of a marketing panel in Clubhouse, and I was able to connect with some people in New York and Texas and across the US. I just think that that's something that you could do to expand your network and your reach. So that's a very important thing during this time, is to just expand wherever you can.
The other thing, you know, the thing that's true now, which was true in last March, is that you have to be over the top in your communications with your clients and customers, where we cannot be physically together, where we have been accustomed to getting together and networking. Now we are all digital, and it's a little bit more difficult to make an impression in a digital world, and so volume is the key. And if you're trying to put out volume, it really helps to plan out what you are going to say. So you're not thinking about on a Friday morning, what am I going to post about today? What am I going to talk to my customers about today? How am I going to reach people today? You already have a plan for how that's going to happen. And it's all coordinated so you don't have to be thinking about it in the moment.
And easy ways to do that are like a motivational Monday or a fun fact Friday. There's lots of ways that you can be, you show your personality in your business through the messaging that you put out. And when we talk about messaging, we're talking about what you're putting out on social media, what you're putting out on your website, how often are you blogging. All of these things used to be that you could just do it once in a while here and there, and that was fine. And really now it's important for you to have weekly activities that you're taking a part of, that you're posting daily to your social media networks, that you're reviving your LinkedIn page that you have not probably looked at in a while. Those are all important areas for your business to be seen. And in order for people, especially consumers who are newer to your business, in order for them to realize that you're still active and open, it's really important for you to be active on all of those channels, because everyone has their own place that they like to look for information. And you need to be wherever those people are. And you are not your target market. Even if you think you are your target market, you aren't. Most of the people who are out there are looking in different avenues than you would. I know that for me, I much prefer an email to any other form of communication. And Nicholas loves a phone call. So we're all very different. And you would think that we would want our information off of social media, and that's just simply not the case. We're busy, we do other things, but there are people who do. I know several people who only get their information from social media, and that is their one source. So what is your client's one source? Have you asked them how do they want to be communicated with? Those are very important questions in this time.
Absolutely. So we run a podcast called the Refreshing Edge podcast, in addition to the business that we run. And we talk about things like this. We did a whole leadership series. We do series on marketing your business in a global pandemic, and recently the trends that people are seeing in post-COVID marketing. So if you're interested in more conversations like this, we'd love for you to subscribe to our podcast, which is available on all podcast platforms: Apple, Google Play, Stitcher, Spotify.
Pretty much wherever you
Amazon.
like to listen.
That's right.
So we'll turn the floor over to you. Do any of you have a question that you'd like to ask us? We're totally open to it.
I have a question. When you're talking about putting out the email communications, what is one of the top mistakes that people make when they're doing these email campaigns for their content? Is there something that they should be avoiding when they do these blasts?
No. People should worry less about making mistakes.
Overthinking. Overthinking is what people do the most that they shouldn't.
Yeah, making mistakes is part of it. It helps you learn, and worrying about whether you're going to make a mistake is a barrier to actually doing it. And doing it is the important thing. You send out emails, you get back dollars. So send out emails, because it really helps.
And I'm going to point out Office Depot. Office Depot has sent out wonderful e-blasts. And one time they sent out an e-blast and they had to send a few hours later a message saying, hey, the information was wrong, the sale was wrong, or the date was wrong. And that's totally fine. Even big corporations who have huge marketing budgets are doing those mistakes. So it's totally fine for you to do something, send it out, and have it be, oh, oops, I need to change this and I need to send something different.
Yeah, and it's an opportunity for you to get more attention.
And it doesn't make me shop Office Depot any less. In fact, it probably makes me shop it more.
Yeah.
I got a question, Dan.
Yeah.
You had mentioned at the tail end of your presentation here about some people desire phone calls, some people desire internet or email. It's interesting because looking at your demographics, guessing a little bit, I would think that you would just be social media and that's it, nothing on the phone. How do you disseminate, or is there a good defining line that you can find at all that says one generation wants the phone call, one wants the email, or you just assume, send out the blast, and also, as you mentioned, ask what their preferred line of communication is?
Yeah, so I think for your current client roster, you should always ask how they prefer to be communicated with. I have some clients who prefer text messaging, and that spans generations. You'd be surprised how many people I'm texting with from different generations. I think it's important to find out what works for them because everyone has a different level of busy in their life, and they're only able to do certain actions. However, in order to attract new clients and new prospects, I do think social media and sending out targeted ads is the way to really go to attract new people. But then once you get them in your web, you're going to find that they might prefer email or phone or text messaging.
Yeah, I think that in terms of acquisition, you should be reaching out in all the platforms that make sense, and then you should ask your customers how they prefer to be communicated with, so that you can prioritize your efforts because we all have kind of a finite amount of brain space that we can use. So if you can prioritize the things that are really important, that'll be really helpful.
I realize this question might be platform specific, but how do you recommend on something like MailChimp to avoid spam?
Being like flagged as spam?
Yeah, I'm just really impressed when my mass emails go to actual inboxes and I don't know how to do that.
Well, email delivery is one of the most complex things in all of the internet, and it's ever changing. But there are a few things that you can do to make sure your email delivery rates remain high, and that is write clear subject lines. That is also doing some technical things with your domain so that you can verify that you are sending from who you say you're sending from, and making sure you maintain a list so you're not adding people to a list who haven't consented to being emailed, because if you get marked as spam enough, you'll decrease your deliverability. And
yeah, all of our clients, we send out an initial email to the people. So once a month, we add all of the new people into the email campaign, and we send an email directly to just those people to say, we'd like to add you to our email campaign. The unsubscribe button is below, and make sure it's just very clear so that the next time you send it out, you're not going to have that issue. There are some keywords to be sure that you stay away from. So just make sure that you're not using salesy, subject lines. Make sure that they're just really authentic, even funny, something that'll get people to open.
Yeah, Tyler in the chat says make sure you include your email setup includes SPF, DKIM, and DMARC records, which are the technical things that you want to make sure are set up.
One of the quick stories I'll share with you is a few years ago, Neiman Marcus sent out an e-blast. And what they didn't realize was that both Outlook and Yahoo only allow you 40 characters, and that includes spaces. So they wrote this beautiful email blast and they sent it out. And the title was Neiman Marcus, Winter Fashions You Can't Afford to Miss. Unfortunately, Yahoo and Outlook, with that 40 character limit, and those users saw Neiman Marcus, Winter Fashions You Can't Afford. So just be careful with your title lines.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'll go.
Yeah.
Go ahead. You're gonna say something?
I was just going to say, digital marketing is filled with funny stories like that. And it is important to be careful about your messaging. But it's more important that you don't treat, like mistakes like that will happen. And it's important that if you make a mistake like that, you just do it again. Email marketing, people think of it as like a monthly or even a weekly thing. But, like big brands will send you several emails per day. And those things drive sales.
So have transparency in your marketing and just get out there and do it.